Hey everybody, good afternoon. My name's Dustin. This is the Ask Me Anything Hour. And this is where we answer any questions that people have about health, about food, about whatever nutrition questions you have. You send them to us at info@strongonhealth. We answer them here for you live so everybody can benefit from the answers instead of just one person. So we have a couple of questions. Today we have a question about Brazil nuts. We have a question about cooking food, and we have some information we're going to talk about with radiation. So I'm going to go for the one about the cooked foods first. Are you ready? Okay, here it goes. When you cook food, we change what's going on in the food. You can destroy enzymes. You can destroy certain aspects of the value of that. There's a word that they would use, denaturing the proteins. So when you have something that is changing the way that it was occurring in nature, and then you put it into your body has to respond to that. So I want to answer this by kind of giving you things to think about so that you can come to your own conclusions about that. Number one of the very first things that we have had a problem with as a nation when it comes to food are peanut allergies. Peanut allergies were a big problem for our kids when I was a kid. Now you can't have them on airplanes, and a lot of people have this problem with peanuts. Well, just one thing to kind of think about is that peanuts are one of the very first foods that were ever roasted. We were roasting peanuts at baseball games, giving them out. So for a very long time, we've been exposed to something that has been denatured, something that has been overcooked, something has been changed from the way that it occurred in nature. And after a very long period of time, things have started to change in our ability to respond to it. Now, that's correlative. I'm not saying it's exactly the only reason. There are some microbiome elements that have been shown to be linked to that. But it is something to start thinking about, because the other thing I want everybody to know about is this little study that Dr. Pottinger did. And this is really interesting. Now, we are not cats, but he was using cats in this study. The thing to know about this is that he had a group of cats where he was giving them all raw foods, all raw milk, nothing pasteurized. Then he had another group where he had most of it like that, but a third of it he cooked. He had pasteurized milk and he cooked a third of it. Now I'm simplifying this whole study for you guys. But here's the fascinating thing that everybody needs to look at and go, why? Why did that happen? The raw cats, perfectly healthy, generation after generation, no problems, they were great. The cats that only had a third of their diet cooked started to experience these really weird changes. They couldn't land on their feet as well. Their bone density started to go down. They developed allergies. They developed all kinds of conditions. And the most alarming thing is the third generation of these cats could not reproduce. Their babies were stillborn. So the only thing that was different between these cats and those cats was whether or not a portion of their food was cooked. So something was changed in the food that affected them so dramatically that they couldn't even go beyond 3 generations. And so we, for generations, have been overcooking foods and getting a lot of it changed. So we have to take that information and look at it and go, well, what's happening? What are we missing? What is creating this change in us? And is cooking foods a big part of it? It could very well be. So a big portion of my diet is going to be raw foods. Raw nuts and seeds are always going to be a big part of that. So, which brings me to Brazil nuts. Why do I eat raw Brazil nuts? And I eat Brazil nuts almost every Monday. I try to get Brazil nuts in. Brazil nuts are an excellent source of a lot of micronutrients, a great source of fiber, great source of fat, great source of protein, your magnesium, your potassium, your calcium, all of those things that tend to be missing from the standard American diet, but especially selenium. Selenium is very important, and we do not have a lot of places we're getting it. Now, here's an interesting thing. People will tell you that you cannot get selenium from Brazil nuts that are grown in California. It's not in the soil, so you're really not getting them. Luckily, we checked our facts, and the Brazil nuts that we do get here are from South America, and that is the place where Brazil nuts come from. So we have South American Brazil nuts, and that's why I'm eating those. So for many, many, many reasons, I do eat them sprouted raw. Okay, one last thing. Radiation. A lot of times people don't understand that we do get exposed to radiation, and it does take its toll on us. So we have to be mindful of the fact that that can be something that is creating a stress. When there are mystery illnesses and mystery things in our lives, and we don't know why something is happening, we have to start asking more and more questions so we can find what could possibly be creating this stress state in me. And sometimes it is exposure to radiation. We do get that when we're flying, we get it when we're at high altitudes, and that does take its toll. So just be aware that sometimes if you're having some kind of strange thing going on and you really can't figure out what's going on, check and see if you're getting exposed to radiation in other ways. That's just something to keep in your brain. oftentimes, way too often, we have so many people who come to us, and when they leave, they say, thank goodness I have hope now. Because that hope is being gone because people stop asking questions. They feel as though they've run out of options. There are always, always, always more questions that you can ask and more information that you can learn about how things are affecting your body. And the more you do that, the more hope you have, the more control you have. So don't give up. Don't give up for anybody who thinks that they've just settled into something and there's nothing you can do about it. There is always, always something you can do to improve your situation, and always many things that you can do to increase your health. So keep looking for those questions. Make sure that you're finding hope and finding people who are helping you find the things that are going to give you what you need. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. If you have any questions, keep them coming. There weren't any questions live today. Were there? Great. Info@Strong in Health. And please share this information if you find it helpful. And we'll see you on Tuesday with a whole new list of questions. Take care.